I no longer wanted to become a forensic pathologist. I'd seen too many dead bodies. So, I took a chance and sent my high school portfolio to the Michaelis School of Fine Art. They accepted me. The only black student to make it to fourth year. I found sculpture. I have a sensitivity towards the three-dimensional. My lecturers at the time thought that I should be working in metal, wood, clay, materials that were typical to black art practitioners. I never imagined that being a woman or being black should determine the work I would make or how I would function. So, my struggle for material continued until the day I had the dream about cows. All I remember is their skins being left behind. I called my father, the Methodist bishop. He takes me to an abattoir. Straight from the recently slaughtered cows, the bloodied skins are loaded into the boot of his silver grey Toyota Camry. The smell of blood, cow feces, and sweat fills the car as we drive to my studio. I shared this space with a vegetarian girl named Tanya at the time. I too was a vegetarian, so we had lots in common. We were happy, friendly studio mates until that day. Negotiating bouts of vomiting, infestations of maggots and flies, and the smell of rotting flesh that I had no idea what to do with proved to be too much for the both of us. I was exiled from our shared space and allocated a dungeon in the belly of the school to work from. A place where I felt thick, stodgy, cold cow fat under my fingernails as I negotiated the task of scraping it from the hide. The sweet, musty smell of animal. Something strangely familiar permeated my skin and the air. the dungeon became a private laboratory. The self-imposed torture just had to stop. So I called the Zico Natural History Museum and asked to speak to a taxidermist. Mr. George Isao was the man that was assigned to taking me out of my misery. His teaching and understanding of chemical process helped me find control where there was none. What I learned sitting in the lecture halls of the Michaela School of Fine Art, and the things that I learned within these very walls where we stand today, created a whole new creature. The validation that we all seek as part of our human construct. I went to girls' schools growing up. Conversations around beauty were high on the agenda. I was too tall, too thin, too loud, too tomboyish, too black, too hairless to fit in. My work became a space of reimagining, rethinking, renewing, healing, making molds of myself and using my likeness within my work became a cathartic process. A memory of childhood. I was in grade 2 at the time. Being one of the very few, if not the only, black families living in Roosevelt Park in Johannesburg in the late 1980s. My father's routine was to walk us to school. One day, his instincts told him to drive. As we drove, we happened upon a crime scene. The dismembered body of a black woman in a driveway. Her limbs thrown here and there, without even the most modest of covering. That stuck in my mind for many years. What is death? How do we imagine this very clear and unavoidable event will happen for us? How do you imagine it'll happen for you? I've sought to understand the private and how it becomes public. Internal struggles that are, in fact, a shared pain. The space where all our lives intersect. A complex and varied place. The schizophrenic comfort of living in the in-between. the connection between past and present, ancestors and the living, death, the ultimate equalizer. I began to understand that the bull and the bullfighter experience the same feelings, the need to fight and protect. I became the unnatural offspring of woman and beast, the Minotaur. My work is a space where myth and reality collide. It's a place where the line between what is attractive and what is repulsive intersects. Seeking to understand what is not immediately clear. Thank you.